call comes in, we have the ability to send the correct and closest services to that drill site. Now, the other thing that is an issue here, the ability to call from the well site. In most cases, people from their residence or from your home or along the road, you take your cell phone out and you dial 911. In some of these remote locations, there is no cell service. And a lot of the drillers are using satellite phones. And if you dial 911 from a satellite phone, you get somewhere in your home company's hometown that answers that call. So dialing 911 on a sat phone doesn't get you to the local 911 center. So we try to share that information with companies as we begin working with them to make sure that someone at that site has the proper number to dial if an emergency occurs. And it may be a 10-digit number, but it'll get you directly to the proper dispatch center.
Thank you, Tom. Brian, with the IEP's Pennsylvania Ocean Consultation Program, kind of gave some highlights, but I wonder if you could drill down a little bit and tell us a little bit more about the program and why shale gas companies may see it as a value-added product service right here in the county.
Sure. As I mentioned, we do provide that free service to industries. We cover Pennsylvania only. We cover all counties in the state. We have currently 11 consultants. So we do upwards of 900 visits a year. And we can't come on site to any facility, not just the well industry, but that's one of the areas we are having a little bit of trouble cracking into is the drilling industry. I've been here 13 years, and I've been to one actually conventional well site, a shallow well in those 13 years. We can offer a wide range of services. We can do air sampling, noise monitoring, from a health standpoint, and then from a safety standpoint, we can look at all of your riggings, your setups, your walking working services, fire protection, real operative prevention technologies and things like that to make sure they're compliant with the OSHA standards or with any API or consensus standard that is out there to comply within the regulation.
Okay, thank you. IRMC, Danny, could you maybe give us a little bit more insight as to how IRMC itself is ready, prepared to deal with any kind of a large EMS emergency event that might happen in the county or in adjacent counties as part of the overwide regional system?
Sure, Byron. One of the things that I'd like to do with BJ Pino's permission here is talk very briefly about the pre-hospital end of things, because obviously that's an important link for us. I draw a parallel to this in this industry with what we did 35 years ago when we looked at the mining industry. The mining industry was one where when we arrived at the mine, we waited until the miner, got out. And, I hate to say it, but in some cases, the person did not survive an injury that was survivable because there wasn't much care being provided underground. Since then, and thank God, we have EMTs underground now. We developed a medical mine response so that we could actually go inside the mine and provide care inside. And one of the keys to that was to be able to become familiar with the environment prior to actually working in that environment. And I think that's key to this process here today. And I'm actually very pleased that this whole process is ongoing and has actually started and continues so that we can become familiar with the environment. I would encourage, first of all, and I know maybe I'm a little off topic, but I will get to the topic, I encourage the owners and the operators of these rigs to get your local public safety folks out there, your first responders, your EMS people, your fire departments out there, and become familiar with the environment that they have to work in. Now, let me just say this: as Joe indicated, some of the things the injuries that they see, compression injuries, high impact injuries, crush injuries, those are all things that we saw in the mining industry. Okay. EMS and hospital staff, emergency department staff are used to and are good at dealing with those kinds of things. So on a daily basis, we manage those types of injuries. We have a tremendous referral system to trauma centers here in the county, so that, God forbid, somebody is badly injured, critically injured, we can get a helicopter there, we've got EMS on scene providing advanced life support, and we can refer to a trauma center. They can be there in 25 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how soon they can evacuate from from the scene. So those mechanisms are in place. We maintain those daily. We ensure we do quality assurance to make sure that everything is in order and working. But think about this. It's one thing to fly to the site in daylight, but what about at 3 o'clock in the morning when it's dark? It's the same thing with the folks on EMS. It's one thing to show up in daylight. It's another thing to show up at nighttime when you're unfamiliar with the environment. So those are the kind of things I think that going forward we need to work on and make sure we get good at. From the standpoint of the hospital, once they arrive at the hospital, we maintain a very high level of readiness in terms of disaster emergency preparedness. One of the things we did, in fact, 2 weeks ago, we had our decon system, our emergency patient decontamination process set up for an entire week at the hospital outside the emergency department. And we did a little show and tell and training for staff. So in the event we had patients coming into the hospital prior to actually walking through the front doors or being wheeled through the front doors, they could be deconned prior to entering the emergency department. Those are what I call low volume, high risk type situations where they don't occur that often, but when they do, they have the potential to have serious impact on not only the environment in the hospital, but staff and other patients. So we have to ensure that we deal with those properly. One of the things, obviously, that when we look at what will the Marcellus Shell industry bring in terms of injuries and illnesses, we obviously look at, right up front, we look at the chemical injuries that could occur. And those chemicals are no different than what we have in other industries in Indiana County, quite honestly. So not only are we preparing for Marcellus Shell, we're preparing on a daily basis for anything and everything that could come through the door. So I can't say that we are, capturing it under that industry. We're just simply redoing what we normally do on a daily basis and making sure that we're good enough to be able to manage it should something bad happen.
Okay, thank you, Danny. Joe, just going to give you a couple minutes if you'd maybe like to address anything that say to the participants here today about your company, maybe some of your products and services that you might offer, and
okay,
thank you.
Sure. Yeah, specifically for this industry, some of the products that we see that are as far as safety related, that are very useful to this industry. Everything from hydraulic tools that we sell, hydraulic torque wrench equipment, lifting, jacking tools, that sort of thing. We provide, like I said before, not only provide the tools, but also come on site to make sure they're set up properly, make sure that these guys are operating them the way that they should. We bring the manufacturer's reps in to help us with that. We also provide, from a partner standpoint, hydraulic hoses, fittings, couplings. We provide everything from the pumps, valves, cylinders, and filters that these guys use, as well as complete hydraulic systems, as well as rental equipment. We do have service right now that we bring in a vacuum dehydration unit to basically remove water from your hydraulic systems. Contamination is very, it's the worst thing as far as hydraulic system goes, so these guys have to make sure they keep their systems clean. We also provide lubrication systems. This was a key safety issue for these guys. In the past, the frac trucks and cement trucks, in particular the frac trucks, had manual boiler systems that they used to lubricate the pumps. And at this point, they're starting to convert everything over to automatic lubrication, so the person doesn't have to be standing at the rear of the truck whenever this thing is operating. And just from a safety standpoint, the lubricators, the automatic lubricators are nice because it gives an indication if there's a fault in the system, if there's a blockage in the line, then they can shut the system down and clear them and change it over. So, and then as far as on-site, one of the things we recommend for these guys is on-site safety training. We do provide in-house safety training for them. In coordination with Parker Hannafin, we do a program called Safety Works. We come in and it's about an hour session as far as it's like a classroom setup, and we go through everything from injection injuries to proper selection, assembly, and installation of hose assemblies on their equipment. So that's good for them. And then we also coordinate with Enerpac as well as far as again, setup and proper use of the hydraulic tools that they have.
Thank you. Brian, IUP is renowned for its safety science program. not only in the county, but in the region and the state, and I believe outside the state as well, certainly. Has the oil and gas industry, maybe you can expand a little bit on the new career opportunities for graduates in that program, both internships and the graduates, and there could be some potential employers here that or that might need to have interns and want to enhance their safety program.
Sure, I'll try. Our program, as I said, is through the Safety Science Department. I'm not there all the time. I'm paid ongoing to the department. But they, as most people familiar with the Safety Science program, as we have graduates all over the country through all types of industries, and many of them are in the gas and oil industries through Range Resources, Chevron, Shell, I believe, and some that I'm aware of there. If you look at the IEP's website for Safety Science, they do have on the website, they have a place where you can sign up for internships where students go to your site and can do summer interns and internships during the semester, help you with your safety programs. I think they graduate upwards of 100 students a year that work out in the fields and available to the industry. I was talking to one of the professors there before this, and she was mentioning that there's working on a certificate program where, as you know, IEP has an undergraduate program in safety science, and you have a master's and a doctorate program there. And now they're working on a certificate in the oil and gas industry. I think it's in conjunction with the geoscience department. So it's in a process of putting something together where you can get a certificate in that area now.
Okay, thank you. Tom, I wonder if you could just briefly mention the new that little project that you have going on around the county.
That's a small project.
That's a
You say little?
little small, tiny.